Right, guys. It's very, very hot here today. Very, very oppressive heat. But it's all happening here. I've been trimming like a maniac this morning. I've chopped like a tree down. It was hanging over the neighbour's land. It was actually a Leshnik tree, hazelnut. So I did that, and it was getting really, really hot. And then the electric department turned up and turned my electric off because they're knocking the house down next door, and they're getting a new electric supply. So the electric was off for a couple of hours, which that's how it is. But so I've dressed up now. I'm in a Gant. This is probably my favourite shirt. It's like a faded, not exactly denim, but it's like it's like a brushed faded cotton. Beautiful and lovely to wear. And I've had this now for many years. Gant USA. Beautiful. And I don't wear it too much because I don't really want to wear it out. So it's like finished. But it's quite old now, and the older it gets, obviously, the better. Now, the grey man top, the zip's gone. The zip's gone on it, so it might be the end of the road for that. I might be able to fix it. And also the glasses, the blue rimmed glasses, have fell apart. So it's all happening today. It's like chaos. So these are my emergency
attacks on black families. My family were involved in the 1919 and 1948 riots. My family have been in Liverpool for an awful long time. So
that's the internet just coming back on. So I've been watching this video, and this girl, she's gone to Liverpool in the aftermath of the riots. Now, what's the channel? Hang on. Novara Media, if you want to look that up. Novara Media. And she's quite good. She's quite good, the girl. She's good. She's got like Dracula teeth. But she's very attractive. And she's gone to Liverpool expecting... I don't think she was expecting what she was going to get, really. Because she went there and said, right, there's Liverpool. It's like the most progressive place in England. And it's like full of like left people. And like, how could this happen? There was right-wing riots the other night after what happened. So she's going around all these other places looking for like these ethnic people, which she finds a few of them. And one of them's on about slavery, this guy just now. He's like a slavery grifter, which there's loads of them knocking about there. It's probably after some reparations from 400 years ago, something like that. And then there's another guy she interviews, and he said there's loads of racism in Liverpool, which there is. I mean, these people aren't getting the memo. The only left-wing thing in Liverpool is militant, absolute militant left-wing activists. That's what you get in Liverpool. You don't nothing else. It's not like this utopia. Like everyone loves each other, because they don't. And if you go to Toxteth, you will not be treated well there. You know, if you take anything of value, anything like that, they're not all about love. You know, they're talking about love and all this on this video, and she also interviewed some black women, and they refused to be on camera, but they said you can repeat what we said, but we're not going on camera. This is in Liverpool, and what they said was there's loads of racism in Liverpool, which there is. There always has been. The best people in Liverpool, the most harmonious setup in Liverpool is the Chinese. There's a massive Chinese population in Liverpool. And they're fantastic. You know, they've fed the city for decades, you know. And they've got Chinatown, and they don't take any messing about, you know. The Chinese, lovely people, and they're very, very peaceful, very nice, peaceful people, and they don't encroach, and they don't like you to encroach. You know, it's symbiosis. That's the best form of interracial relations, you know, symbiosis. And the Indians, there's not that many Indians in Liverpool, but they've got great restaurants, and they've got great, you know, they're fantastic, and everyone loves them, and everyone loves the Chinese and all the rest of it. But I think the blacks are from the West Indies, Caribbean, and there was a big thing once about the, you know, they wanted the slavery, all that stuff. You know what I mean? No one's interested except them, you know. And but it's never been a nice place or welcoming. It's Oxford, and they could have made it their own. And some of them have. There's some nice, you know, Caribbean restaurants, and there's some great shops. And I used to go there regularly to buy stuff from the. They've got some great supermarkets in Liverpool. There's 3 big Chinese supermarkets, fantastic. And I could spend hours and hours in there. And they've got a couple of like Middle Eastern kind of shops, and you can get goat there. We used to go and buy goat and goat meat, because it's hard to get in the UK, but they always had it. And there's some good little Caribbean places where they sell the Caribbean stuff, like what do you call it? Beans, rice and beans, but it's not rice and peas. It's actually something else. It's like, the description is not what it is. Anyway, can't remember. But anyway, they're saying like, and this girl's saying, oh yeah, Liverpool's the most progressive city in the UK. Liverpool is full of scum. I mean, everywhere. You know, I can name tons of places. I'm from like down the south end of Liverpool, which is a little bit more civilized. But like, but there's even places there that, like, you know, you wouldn't even go out in the daytime without a guard. You know, there's Speak near the airport. There's Speak, Halewood, and then you work your way up the city. Netherley, absolute shitholes, you know. The whole fucking place is a shithole, apart from certain little parts, you know. And then you carry on up and you go to Norris Green and Huyton, and these places, you're lucky to get out alive. And this girl thinks it's a utopia. It's a shithole. Liverpool's always been a shithole. and they keep saying that all these friendly people. There are friendly people there, but like you've got to go to the right places. If you go to the wrong places, you might not get out. And you go up further up, then you go to Cancel Farm, round to where are the other places? Anfield, Everton. You know, these places are rough with a capital R. These places are rough. Seaforth, everywhere. You know, there's very few places which are okay. The South End's okay. That's where I'm from. Except for, like, you know, you're surrounded there even by scum. Like Hale Wood. What a place. It's like the Wild West. And these people, like this girl on this channel, all of a sudden they're saying, "Oh, what do you think of the right wing? And Liverpool's such a lovely place, and it's left wing." Well, it's left wing insofar as it was a Labour bastion, a Labour stronghold, forever. You know, I mean, I remember. I'm not political. I don't vote for anybody. I don't, and they didn't understand. They never understood that. People I used to speak to, and I'd be very careful what I said in Liverpool. Very careful, you know. I got into a couple of debates a few times, but I soon learnt my lesson. I keep it shut, you know what I mean? And there was all these left-wing people. But the left-wing people that I knew were very, very right-wing in the way they acted. They all had private property. They didn't live on council estates. And they did all the things that right-wing people would do, like Tories and people like that. And they actually lived in they didn't live in these council estate areas. You know, all these right-on left-wing people. Right, so that's how it goes. That's how it is in Liverpool, and so this girl, she's interviewing all these other people, and they say, "Oh yeah," they mention the three girls that got killed, and they're soon on to, like, you know, next breath, they're talking about trade unions, and I'm thinking, what are you on about? We're talking here about something that just happened. 3 girls getting killed, stabbed to death, broad daylight, and they don't even know. They don't even want to know what happened, and they're not even asking. Like, oh yeah, we'll have to sort this out. And then she interviews these other couple of grifters, obviously grifters, like dockers or people like that, or trade unions, and they're doing these food banks. And it's obviously the grifting, you know what I mean? They obviously make on the take or whatever. Obvious. Absolutely obvious. About my age. But these are militants. You can recognise them straight away. And these people are militant. And now they're grifting on the food banks and all that. And don't tell me they're there, because there was no mention of volunteer either. Didn't hear that word. You know, and I know Liverpool. I'm from there. I'm from there, and these people are grifters. You can tell. Say, "Oh yeah, well, ever since being involved with the food bank and helping people, they're grifters. They're making money. They're on the take. You can tell when you saw all the stuff. They've been donated all this gear. And if they're ex-dockers and that, it'd be like 1 for me and 2 for 1 for the charity and 2 for the house. You know what I mean? That's what they're like. That's what they're like. That's what Liverpool's all about. Always has been. Always has been. And this girl thinks like it's this, like, I don't know what she thinks it's a utopia. But they soon told her, actually, I mean, that was good. Because these black people, you know, there's no real black people in Toxteth. They're all like third, fourth, fifth generation married to white people, believe it or not. And most people are mixed race there. And the new people are in Kensington area, which is rough, you know. ultra rough. I mean, the Taliban would probably clean it up. It's that rough. The Taliban have probably cleaned it up a little bit, made it more respectable. It was that rough. Kensington. You know, and this girl's going, oh yeah, obviously Liverpool. It's like, it's always had this, the most progressive city in the UK. And like, for what? Crime. And, you know, I know places like Kirby. I mean, the last place I stayed is just outside Kirby, in a safe, secure area, just outside, called McGull. And like, there's a line, there's like a county line, where the Kirby people don't go out. I think Kirby's even outside of Liverpool, actually, to give it some context. But I mean, Liverpool, and she thinks it's like this. She's, you know, bastion of love, and the bastion of love and progressiveness and tolerance. And it is quite tolerant. There are, you know, plenty of people there who are tolerant, like me, and I'm far right. My last girlfriend was in Liverpool. She's from Botswana, in Africa. I was with her for 3 years. Botswana. And my two brothers are married to black girls. So, like, yeah, there is tolerance, but like most of the city isn't tolerant. They're not even tolerant of like people from other areas. They'll kill you. Smash your head in. If you go to the wrong place, you know, at the wrong time. They had to change some names of places, of areas, because they were so notorious. Like Cantrell Farm, that they renamed it Stockbridge Village, because it was that notorious, you know. And these places are rough, man. You know, I know rough. I'm from Liverpool, you know, and I've worked all over Liverpool and Northwest and all over England, actually, and Scotland. And probably the roughest place I've ever been is Manchester. Like, that's sinister. That's like really like hardcore. Like, what's it called? Moss Side. Whoa! I mean, I'm from Liverpool now. I was scared there. I think I had a contract there, and I just said to the agency, "No, thank you. I've got to get out of here." You know, Moss Side, places like that, and there is other places like over the river, Birkenhead. There's some estates over there, and even there's notorious places like in Chester. You know, the Roman sort of town. There's some council estates there where you wouldn't set foot. I think it's called. I think the one over the river from Liverpool's called the Ford Estate. And I forget what the one in Chester's called, but you wouldn't go there, you know. But so anyway, so the aftermath of all these riots and whatever and blah blah blah, it's just all now turned into a war of word salads. and it's the UK is not getting any better. It's getting a lot worse from here on in. Whatever they say, whatever they do, it's done. And I thought that a few years ago when I moved out, it's done. It's past the point of no return, and there's no going back, and there's going to be no solving anything. And what's just happened to me has just reiterated that to me. But my decision was the best one, is to get out. And I would advise anyone else to get out, because of the cost of living is one of them. And you wait. Now, I'm going to say this. The food shortages are coming, right? And that's serious. And then the financial crisis is coming. And this now, what you're seeing now, is nothing compared with that. When the food shortages hit, and when that happens, they won't let you move. Just like the lockdowns, they stop people moving about, and that's what'll happen. That's what'll happen. I said to my family, some of them, I said, you want to move? And they said, well, we will when the time comes. I said, well, you might not be able to. And that's what happened. 2020. You couldn't move unless you had your papers, unless you had the either the medicine or like whatever, test or whatever. And they'll make it even harder in the future. They won't let you move. That's what'll happen. And that's what's coming. And that's what was forecasted in Deagle. And that's what's going to happen. And the next thing will be the food thing. And they'll blame it on everything and everyone. But you still won't have any food. It doesn't matter who they're going to blame it on. And you won't be able to afford to live. And that's where the UK is heading. And this is nothing. These little bit of riots by some supposed far-right people, this is nothing. Listen. Cheers.